What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel. Giving a shout out to the rest of the crew: Shad, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right. That's right. For everyone who's tuning in, we thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Thank you for subscribing to Behind the Bench and helping this show become the best that it can be. Man, I have to talk about last night's NBA action. Well, we saw a dandy between the defending champion Denver Nuggets and the fast up-and-coming Minnesota T-Wolves, the Timberwolves, who has the number one ranked defense entering the postseason. And I would say every series has been good in the second round in the conference semifinals. From Denver to Minnesota, Dallas, OKC, Indiana, New York, Boston, and Cleveland. But this series right here, man, you have everything, man. You have, the reigning league MVP. You have big-time young star power, great defense, great playmaking, great shot making, great competition, shot blocking. You have everything, man. And as Rudy Tomjanovich, head coach of the Houston Rockets, who led his team to back-to-back championships coming up on 30 years ago, 1994 and 1995. He coined one of the greatest phrases in NBA history when he say, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And it's so poignant, and Denver Nuggets exemplify that determination over these past two games after falling down 2-0 versus a high-powered, high-quality Timberwolves team. Now, mind you, the Timberwolves boast the Defense Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, the third player to win that award 4 times, along with, I think, Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace, if I'm not mistaken. They have the Sixth Man of the Year, Naz Reid. The head coach was third in being voted Coach of the Year. And then they have Ant-Man, Then they have the best shooting big in the game in Karl Anthony Towns in terms of percentage-wise behind the arc. So Minnesota's no joke, and they've improved. But, man, I don't know what woke Denver up. I don't know what they coach Mike Malone said, but he's one of the best coaches. I just love the way he prepares his team. He takes no prisoners, man. And when he needs to call his team out, he does it, But he doesn't do it in a way that mocks him. He does it in a way to get the best out of his players. But the Denver Nuggets, man. And let's delve into last night's action as Denver has tied the series up 2 games apiece, winning Game 4 on the road in Minnesota by the score of 115-107. And at the beginning of the game, Minnesota, they got to a fast start. But Denver is a very poised team, and eventually they get you to play to their pace. And I believe that's the key to their success, man. But that foray they had, like the last, 30 seconds, 20 seconds of the first half, when Minnesota cut the lead down to 7 points, when Ant-Man Anthony Edwards hit a three-point shot, and then with the shot clock about to expire, Denver in the next possession, Jokic, who's double teamed on the left wing, he delivers a money cross-court pass point blank to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who hit a clutch 3-point shot to put him back up 10. And then Ant-Man brings the ball, across half court, and then they steal the ball from him, and then Jokic recovers, and he delivers a pass to Michael Porter, who went in for the 2-hand dunk. And then when Minnesota attempted a outlet pass full court, Jamal Murray intercepts it, and he shoots a 55-footer that was hit nothing but the bottom of the net, and he knew it was going in. That's what's scary, man. And Kevin Harlan said, "Oh, you got it, you got it." And I'm telling you, right there, man, that had to break the backs of Minnesota, man. You know, they could have went into halftime only down 7. Next thing you know, they down 15. But when you look at the production from Denver, of course, you had the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic, who's been under criticism for winning an MVP, but I say, he deserved it. I believe he's the best player in the game right now. And he was scored something like 16 points in that final quarter last night, 35 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. But Aaron Gordon stepped up big, man. He went full Terminator mode, and he converted all but one shot. I think he was like 11 to 12 shooting, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Played excellent defense, too. And then you had Jamal Murray with the big shots. And then beginning of the second half, he hit the first 3 shot attempts. And it was like back and forth, back and forth. He hit a shot, Edwards hit a shot. He hit a shot, Edwards hit a shot. And Minnesota never really could cut into that lead until the very end when Denver kind of, was playing the percentages there. But big contribution from their bench, which I thought Denver didn't really execute the first 2 games and put too much pressure on the starters. But slowly but surely, Mike Malone is working their bench into the rotation. Christian Braun played huge last night. He hit a big 3-point shot to put him up 13 with minutes to go in the fourth quarter, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And then Justin Holiday with 10 crucial points. Then you had Reggie Jackson, who hit 2 big 3-pointers in the first half of last night's action. And it's awesome, man. And Michael Porter, he had an off night, so you figure he'll bounce back for game 5. But this team, man, showed championship mettle over these past 2 games. Now on the other side, Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man, he had probably his greatest postseason game as a pro to date with 44 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He played big, man, and he responded from game 3 like he said he would. Karl Anthony Towns, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, but he did not shoot well for the second consecutive game. And if Minnesota is the rebound, he's going to have to play like he did the first 2 games of the series, the way he played in the first round. I mean, that's probably the best he's ever played in the postseason that we saw out of him in the first round in the first 2 games of this series. So he's going to have to bounce back in a major way. Gobert, 11 points, 14 rebounds. But it seems like, Denver is starting to solve his defense a little bit. Not saying he's playing bad per se, but I think they're figuring out how to attack him, with Jokic. And then Aaron Gordon hit some big shots, that was highly contested by Gobert from the baseline. Jaden McDaniels, 11 points, 2 rebounds. And Mike Conley tallied in 15 points last night. Their bench, which has been a strength for them so far this postseason, Denver has kind of held Naz Reid in check the last 2 games. He did have 11 points, but that was during, when they was, in a huge deficit and they were trying to come back per se. But they've kind of held him in check. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he did not have a good game last night. So really the key was, as far as Denver's victory, is a combination of, big-time clutch shooting and the awesome performance of Aaron Gordon. But the bench of Denver has outplayed the bench of Minnesota. Now, going back to Denver in Game 5, Denver has a lot of momentum, and it stands to reason they're not going to lose a 3rd straight game at home, So for them to come back down from 2-0, giving up home court to Minnesota and regaining home court the way they have, being the defending champions, you would figure they have the momentum. But the series is tough, and these playoffs have been magnificent. And like I said, the NBA has a bright future for itself if it just move forward. It's time to move on. It's time to move on, man. You can't keep on holding on to a situation that's causing the league to become stagnant. You know, uh, basketball fans want to embrace the league again. Fans who have stopped watching, you know, a lot of fans, including myself, have been turned off by this super team era. It's been a huge turnoff. You know, it has not elevated the game. It's devalued the game in a lot of ways. But, you know, there's always a situation where things can be corrected and you can move forward, man. And that's why I give these young teams and these young stars kudos, because they out there competing, you know, win or lose. And it's a win-win for everybody. So, big game last night. Denver Nuggets showing that they are the champions, the defending champions, and they're playing like it. And if they play like this the rest of the way, you know, they have to win this series first. But if they, you know, eventually win this series and move on to the next round, conference finals, you know, I think they'll build a momentum to where they could very well repeat as champions of the NBA. So I just wanted to give that quick breakdown and game synopsis. And until next time, this is JB for BTB Behind the Bench.